Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley if you are new here, and I YouTube about mom life, owning a business, and just beauty products. This is my kind of side gig. I own a boutique that is predominantly online. So this channel is kind of just my creative outlet where I talk about the things that I want to talk about. And if you couldn't already tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking today about my tips for working at home with young kids. So if you're a mama and you work from home, or you would like to work from home but you're not really sure how to go about that, I'm going to share what has worked for me. Obviously everybody is different, so if that interests you, make sure you like and subscribe so that you will be so that you'll get notified of future videos. I plan to be uploading once a week to start with. This is still kind of new to me, so once I kind of get my groove, I plan to be uploading more like twice a week. So again, all of these tips are from my personal experience. I have worked from home in different capacities for about 8 years. The first several years of those were spent, I used to do general transcription work. And that was done when my kids were really, really young. So I pretty much only worked during nap time and when they were sleeping at night. And then for the last 2 years, I have had a boutique that is like an e-commerce, only online. We don't do in-person shopping because, to start out with, this boutique has been run straight out of my house. We are actually in the process of moving into a new warehouse space, but the first 2 years of this gig have been completely from home. I currently have 5 kids. My youngest is about to turn 4 and my oldest is about to turn 12. So they're pretty close in age. They were all born within about 8 years. So I do have quite a bit of experience working from home, and I know it can be hard. So I wanted to share what has worked for me, my advice to you if you're kind of new to this, or maybe you've been doing it for a while and you're on the struggle bus and you're just looking for a little bit of advice from someone who's been doing it for a while. So that's what I got. I have notes here, so if you see me looking down, it's just because I don't want to forget anything that I wrote down for you guys. And I'm going to be specifically talking to women who are working from home with young kids. If you have babies or a newborn, that is a whole different ballgame, and that's really tough. When I was doing transcription work, that's when I had babies in the house, and like I said, I could only work from home during nap time, and y'all know babies don't always nap when they're supposed to, and at nighttime after the kids were in bed, when my husband was home and could kind of take over kid duty. It was very difficult though, especially because transcription work is kind of deadline oriented. So sorry. So I spent many nights up at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to hit a deadline, nursing a baby on my lap at the same time, and it was tough, but that was what we had to do. And now I don't have babies and toddlers in the house anymore, which kind of breaks my heart, but that's a totally different video. So I don't have those same dynamics in my house right now. So I'm mostly talking to people who are kind of like out of the tiny baby stage. Maybe like ages 2 and up, if you've got kiddos 2 and up, maybe even 1.5 years and up. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say to you is that you can't do this alone. You can't. Okay, you can, but you're going to go crazy. You're going to get burnt out. You are going to get really tired, resentful, stressed out. Nothing that a young mama needs to be. So I recommend asking for help a lot. So that can be from a supportive spouse who takes over kid duty during nap time, or when he's, home on the weekends from his job or her job, or whatever your dynamic is. I have a few friends who take their kiddos to daycare for a few days a week, and there is no shame in that. And you might be thinking, well, why would I take my kids to daycare? The whole point of me working from home is so that I can still be home with my kids. I hear you, but hear me out. if you're taking your kids to daycare for just a couple of days a week, maybe even it's just 2 days a week, you're going to be able to laser focus and get a lot of work done during those 2 days so that the rest of the week you can be focused on your kids and kind of just like be overseeing your work duties. I don't want you to, so if your kids are in daycare, but you're at home, and if your kids still need you, or you have older kids who are in school and they need you, you're still going to be able to put down what you're doing and of course make them the priority in that moment. So you're still having that advantage of mom being home, even though, you know, maybe twice a week they go to daycare. That's not in everyone's budget though. That's not something that we have ever done, but I do have friends who have done it and they swear by it. And I like, you know, totally do that if that works for you. I wish that I had done it, honestly. I wish that I had looked into that as an option back when I really, really needed it. I regret not doing that because it just left me completely feeling like I was constantly working, I was constantly on mom duty, and that's a lot to be doing all of the time and never having a break from. And then there's the other option is to just look for a teen or a college student in your area who maybe has a few hours a day where they can come and be in your house with you, so that you can kind of be working and they can be playing with your kiddo, maybe fixing them lunch. Just ask for help. That's going to look different for you in, you know, whatever your environment is, whether you have family close by or daycare is in your budget, or if you know of a teenager down the street who'd love to come over and play with your kiddos so that you can get some work done. Asking for help is going to look different for everybody, and there's no right or wrong way to do it, but I do highly encourage you to ask for help because working from home is not easy. It's not what we all thought it was going to be, right? Okay, so the second recommendation that I have is to schedule in playtime with your kids, especially if you're anything like me, you're kind of a workaholic, a type A. The whole day can go by and you realize maybe your kiddo spent way too much time watching TV that day, which, you know, that's not even a debate that I'm willing to entertain on my channel. I don't shame mamas for screen time, but if I know for me personally, if I don't schedule that time in to sit down and read a book with my son or play with him while his older siblings are at school, there's a really good chance that I'm going to get super busy with my day, whether that's with business work or housework, and it's not going to happen. So I actually schedule it in. I have a planner. I like the Brennan Burchard product. I think it's called the Productivity Planner. I got it for $14 on Amazon. And then I also have a planner that I think my sister got it from TJ Maxx. It was a Christmas gift. And I think it was from TJ Maxx that she got it from. And I like both of those. So it doesn't have to be a super pricey planner. But I do recommend planning that in, especially if you have the personality type that gets super busy and things that aren't on the planner just don't get done. The next thing is nap time, and this is where mamas who have babies and toddlers are going to roll their eyes at me. So, but if you do have a child that is old enough to understand nap time and quiet time, I think it's a great thing. Even if they don't need a nap, even if they won't actually go to sleep, having them go in their room for 30 minutes, I think is beneficial for both of you. I think it lets kids have a little bit of time to be entertaining themselves, and I also think it's good for you. So whether you use that time to work or you use that time to just kind of like decompress a little bit, because when you're working from home and you've got kids with you, you are, like I said, you're on work duty and you're on mom duty all the time. So you're constantly operating on this really high level mentally, and it can be exhausting. So having just 30 minutes of kiddo goes off for some quiet time, you do whatever it is you need to do, whether that's work or chill or laundry. I think that is super helpful for everybody. The next tip I have for you is to batch your work on days when your spouse is home and can help you. So what I mean by that, for example, if you have a blog, batch write posts all on like Saturdays if your spouse is home on Saturdays. Create all of your posts, have all of your images made, get all of your links done. I do have a blog for my boutique, but it's not something that I have run my business on. So I'm just trying to think of things that bloggers would need to do in order to produce their content throughout the week. If you could get all of that done on, say, Saturday and have it scheduled out throughout the week, then you can kind of just be overseeing things instead of having to be in creative mode, in production mode throughout the week when your kids are home. What that looks like for me is I am looking at what products I'm going to be launching throughout the week. I'm making sure I have have them uploaded into my POS system. I'm making sure all my images are set and ready to go. If I really have some time, I like to pre-schedule my social media posts and email marketing and text marketing and all of that stuff. I love it when I'm able to get all of that done, spend a few hours on it and have it scheduled throughout the week. It makes my life so much easier. Product launches can be stressful when you are doing them on the fly and you've got like 5 hungry kids screaming at you. It's not ideal. So I think that batching your work is a great way to take the stress off of you, and then that way you're kind of just like letting it float for the rest of the week and just kind of in overseeing mode and managing mode versus production mode. Consider hiring somebody to help you remotely, especially if you are in a period of growth or if things have already grown to a point where you can't do everything yourself anymore. So that could be a virtual assistant. That could be hiring somebody to do your emails, send your emails for you. That could be hiring somebody to create your photos, your images for you, whether that's like a social media image or a product image. There are a lot of things that you can hire out, but I'm notoriously awful at that. I have just within the last like 6 months finally started hiring people to help me with like marketing and managing some parts of my business, but I still have not hired anybody to help me with social media management or a lot of things that I should have already outsourced. So I'm coming from a place of like, I know I need this too, and I'm sharing it with you. But it's definitely pot calling the kettle black type of deal because I'm really bad at it, especially when it's your own business. Some people work from home for other companies, but when it's your own business, it can be really, really tough to let go of that control, or to let somebody else's voice come into your business. That can be really, really difficult, and I completely understand that. But there are other things you can do. Like I've hired somebody to help me with my marketing, and I still create the material that it's, online. I still create the material, but she goes ahead and takes care of taking the material, putting it together, and then putting it out on whatever channel it is that we're marketing on. So it's still my voice, but she takes care of actually doing it, which is probably really vague if you're not familiar with marketing online, but it's been really helpful, and she's an expert in that area and I am not. So the advantage of that is when something isn't working right, I might not catch it right away. She catches it sooner than I do, and she brings it to my attention, and we tweak as necessary, and then go from there. So when you can hire somebody to work remotely who's already an expert in that field, it can be a really good thing for your business. So definitely recommend that. Okay, so as far as like household things that are going to be helpful to you when you're working from home, meal plan. I can do a video on how we meal plan. We have meal planned for 8 to 10 years, like forever. We've always meal planned. Sometimes we've meal planned for budget reasons. Sometimes we have meal planned for like mama's sanity reasons, and other times we have budgeted for time-saving reasons, or I'm sorry, meal plan for time-saving reasons. And that's kind of where we are right now. We are meal planning for time-saving reasons so that it doesn't get till 5 o'clock at night, and I am just finishing up some work and realizing I don't know what to feed these 7 people. So I can do a video on that, but there's a lot of different content on YouTube and on Pinterest on meal planning. Figure out what works for you. Some people like to meal plan all 3 meals and snacks. Some people just like to meal plan dinner, or some combination of those. Just figure out what works for you. It helps you when you're to streamline your grocery shopping. It helps to save time, and it helps to prevent like stuff going bad in the refrigerator. But overall, I do think meal planning helps my sanity level a lot, especially when my husband's work is also really busy. And then for your household, so create routines for cleaning your house. Have like a morning routine, an afternoon routine. If you have ever heard of like Fly Lady zone cleanings, I've done variations of that. I don't follow it strictly, but that works really well. What I have used for like the last 4 years is a system called Motivated Moms. It has like PDF files, and she has like a list of things that you do every day. So make your bed, do a load of laundry, run the dishwasher, and then there are things that you do that are like weekly tasks. So scrub the toilets, dust the living room, vacuum the floor, and all of that. And then she also throws in like monthly tasks that don't need to be done every week, but should be done every month, like cleaning out vents and stuff like that. And her system, I can usually get my daily stuff done within about 30 minutes. Of course, like the laundry, I have to wait for that to be finished, but I can do like the hands-on stuff I can do within 30 minutes. It's a really good system when I follow it. Sometimes I fall off the wagon. I was traveling a couple weeks ago for work, and it's been really difficult for me to get back into a routine. So my house is kind of in shambles right now, but we're working on getting things back. But that's just life, right? So definitely having routines and plans in place so that you're not trying to fly by the seat of your pants can help reduce that stress load. My next tip is to have a designated workspace. That can be a spare bedroom, that can be a finished basement, that can be a closet. I've seen plans on Pinterest that are for converting a closet into like a mini office, or even if it's just a corner in your room that is your workspace. And there's a couple reasons for that. The first reason is that when you are working and you're trying to work in the middle of like your household chaos, you're not focusing on your work. So you're not going to be as productive as you were if you were just in like a workspace. So for me, if I'm sitting in my living room on my laptop and I'm getting some work done, it's driving me crazy that like there's a load of laundry over there that needs to be washed or folded. And so I put down my work and I go fold the laundry, because if I don't, it's going to drive me crazy. Or I can see that sink full of dishes and I can't focus on responding to these customer emails right now because that load of dishes is driving me nuts. And then the opposite, like kind of the inverse, can also apply, that when you have a designated workspace and it's time for you to stop working and you need to switch into like family time, when you walk away from that workspace, you leave work there and you transition into family time. Versus if you are just kind of working all over your house, you're like, you know, with your kids in cooking dinner in the kitchen, and you're like, oh, hold on, I just saw an email from a customer. Let me just, you know, hold on, Johnny, or whoever your child is. Let me just check on this. It's just really easy to let those boundaries become blurred when you don't have a designated workspace. So it doesn't have to be an entire bedroom, but it can be a corner in your room or a corner of the living room, and your work stays there. And when you get up and you leave that space, work time is done. And that way your family is getting your attention. And then, you know, when you need to come back to work, your family knows that when you go into your office or your workspace or whatever, mom's working, and we need to respect her boundaries unless, you know, somebody's bleeding or something, obviously. You know, just like common sense there. But I think having that designated workspace helps you to not be distracted by home when you're supposed to be working, and it helps you to focus on home when you're not supposed to be working. So designated workspace, that's just another sanity saver. The next tip, I just have 3 more tips and I'll make them really quick because this video is getting kind of long. The next tip that I have is to not be afraid to let your friends and family know that you just need them to check in with you before they come and just stop by unannounced. Sometimes people think that when you work from home, you can work whenever you want or not work whenever you want. So they don't understand why they can't just stop by unannounced. And you can just let them know, like, I would love to plan coffee with you. Let me know and I can, you know, make time for you. So you definitely want to make time for your loved ones in your family, but just like people who work outside of the home, they can't just leave their work day and go, you know, do whatever. So just having some boundaries in place, and you can, you know, it doesn't need to be rude or uncomfortable or anything, and just let them know that you want to schedule time for them so that you can have that time with them. Next, so this is not a sponsored post. I think I might have an affiliate link. I don't know. I'm obviously pretty new at this. If I have an affiliate link, I'll put it down in the description box. And that just means that if you use one of these services, I would get some sort of commission, like a couple bucks here and there, which I 100% appreciate, but I don't even know if I have those links. So I should have probably checked on that beforehand, right? I love services like Instacart and Blue Apron to help you keep the ball running in your house. So Instacart, if you're not familiar with it, it's an app that you can download on your phone, order your groceries. Somebody at the grocery store goes, you know, gets a shopping cart, picks your grocery order, and then an Instacart driver delivers it to you. I think your first order over $35 you get free delivery on, and then you can pay a membership, which we did. I think it was $90 or $99 for a year, and you get free deliveries for an entire year. In our area, we live in Western New York. I use it for WAHMs, which is like if you live in Western New York or up in the northeastern United States, you know WAHMs is the best grocery store ever. So being able to have WAHMs delivered to my house is the bomb.com. But I also just last week used it for Aldi's, and Aldi's selection has gotten really great over the last few years, and their prices are pretty incredible. I do think that some of the prices are a little bit higher when you're ordering on Instacart, but getting that free delivery, I mean, we kind of live out in the country. We live about 20 minutes away from the grocery store. So the way I see it, I'm going to save that $90 in gas, not driving back and forth. And then my time is worth a lot. My time is valuable. Time is money. Your time is valuable as well. So anything you can do to help you save time is incredible. I have gone to the grocery store to grocery shop once in the last year. And I don't hate grocery shopping. I actually kind of enjoy it when I have time for it. It's just that I don't really have time for it in this season of my life. So I'm happy to outsource that. There's a lot that I don't outsource. As small business owners, we kind of just do everything and juggle everything. But being able to outsource something as simple as grocery shopping is heavenly, just heavenly. And then Blue Apron, you guys have probably heard about it. You pick meals, and they send you boxes that have perfectly portioned meals and really simple instructions. I love it. You guys have probably already heard about it a million times, but I wanted to mention it just in case you never thought of it as a way to save you some time and sanity when you're working from home. And then my last tip is get dressed. Get dressed. So when you work from home, you can work in your pajamas. You can not shower for 5 days if you don't want to. And you know what? If that makes you happy and that's how you are most comfortable, and you're able to still be productive when you're just hanging around in your PJs, that's okay. And there is nothing wrong with that at all. But for me personally, I'm a lot more productive and I just feel better when I get myself dressed, put on a little bit of makeup, which is usually just a moisturizer, mascara, blush, lip gloss maybe, and brush my hair and put on some jeans and a top. It's not anything fancy, but I am out of my PJs. I am like put together. I'm not gonna be mortified when the UPS guy drops off packages. You know what I mean? So get dressed. It helps you to feel better. It helps you be more productive. And when you're working from home, you gotta be firing on all cylinders at all times so that you can make sure you're meeting your family's needs and meeting your work/business needs. So whatever you can do to help make sure that you are like working at full capacity, whether that's, you know, some people for working out, like that definitely helps me be more productive, eating well, getting dressed, all of those things that just make you feel better. So those are all my tips for working from home with young children. I hope you found a couple helpful tips that will help you. Let me know in the comments if you work from home, what you do working from home. I'm super curious to hear what you guys do. Probably there's not very many boutique owners who are working from home. So I want to hear what you guys are doing from home, because I think that is one of the coolest things in our generation, is that people are starting to have different non-traditional work setups, and I love hearing about all of that. So definitely let me know. And then don't forget to like and subscribe. I would love to have you as a subscriber if you are not already. And I think that's everything. So I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.